Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Psychic in Your Pocket podcast. Today, the podcast is going to be a little bit different in that I want to take you on a journey to meet some wonderful people and hear their stories. Our story mainly takes place in Kennebunkport, Maine. Kennebunkport, Maine is a quaint little town in the county of York in Maine, with roughly a population of 4,000 to 4,500 people. And Kennebunkport has a rich historical fabric interwoven with politics, predominantly a Republican area. The town has a very laid back yet edgy, artsy vibe about it. A little bit like a beach town, but more refined. And the first individual that I want to introduce you to is named Sadie Rose. Sadie Rose is a world-renowned psychic medium, and she runs the Inner Circle Spiritual Center and Spa, which was started by her and her husband, Tom Brown. And the Inner Circle Spiritual Center was all about, or is all about, personal development and spiritual growth. So there's classes about meditation, there's classes about beginning mediumship, there's classes about consciousness and elevation, there's classes about taking care of the earth. There's all sorts of classes run and services provided at the Inner Circle Spiritual Center. So this is where our story begins, and as it turns out, Miss Sadie Rose is waiting for her first client to come in. So she's sitting at a glass table with a set of large, what looks to be oracle cards in her hands, shuffling them steadily, while some beautiful sage is burning in a bowl beside her to cleanse the energy of the area where she's about to meet her first client. In walks Claire, a young 20-something, wearing Burtox shoes, a big peasant blouse, and has a large handbag, also wearing cut-off jeans. The handbag is very obviously full. Hello, Mrs. Brown. I'm so excited to finally meet you. I've been saving to do this for weeks. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I look up to you so much because you're so respected for what you do, and I even brought crystals because I heard they help raise the vibration and bring in divine information. Not that you need help. I mean, I believe in this sort of thing, and you're the best. You've been doing this for years and years and years and years. Not that you're old or anything. I talk a lot when I'm nervous. Sadie, taking her hand. Take a breath, honey. It's okay. There's nothing to be nervous about. Crystals are a wonderful tool. Thank you for bringing them. Claire, turning her handbag completely upside down, dumping out hundreds of crystals. Oh my! You weren't kidding. They're beautiful, but you have so many. Picking up her hands and putting them in front to prevent the crystals from falling off the table as they continue to pour out of Claire's purse. Then taking a breath. First thing that's coming to me is in regards to your romantic relationship. It feels as though there's been some sort of difficulty in that department with your current boyfriend. Claire, completely frozen, listening intently before she interrupts. Yes, yes, that's exactly why I'm here. I want to know who my soulmate is. I feel a strong connection with my boyfriend, if he is, but it's so difficult at times. So I'm not sure he's my soulmate. And I don't want to waste one more minute in that capacity with him in this relationship if he's not my soulmate. Oh, honey, I completely understand. I will ask my spirit guide to give confirmation through these cards. So I'll do a small spread for you to confirm the information I'm getting. I shuffled and staged the cards before you arrived, so they are ready. Placing 3 cards face down in front of herself on the table, then turning them in the direction of Claire, turning the first card over. This card represents the past, and your connection with your current boyfriend is very strong. You definitely have a past life connection. Skipping the middle card, going to the one farthest to the right. This card represents the future, and he will definitely continue to be a part of your life. But only the middle card, which represents the present, will let us know if he is indeed your soulmate. Claire holding tightly to the table. Oh, yes, that makes sense. I'm sure, no matter what, he will be in my life because we're friends. We always will be. But I need to know so I don't waste any more of my heart time, so to speak, if he's not my soulmate. Is he? What does the card say? What does the card say? Leaning halfway across the table towards Sadie and the cards, waiting as Sadie turns over the middle card. Flipping over the card. Oh my! This is so interesting. Your soulmate. Suddenly she slumps over, head on the table, making a slight sound as though she's beginning to snore. Claire, what does the card say? Slightly shaking Sadie. Is this some sort of deep meditation? Next, we find ourselves a few days earlier, still in Kennebunk, Maine, 2 miles from the famous historical Colonial Hotel, the Spiritual Development Center, the Intercircle Spiritual Center and Spa. We find Miss Sadie outside the center at a grave site on the property. Sadie Brown, of course, as I mentioned, this well-known psychic medium in her late 60s, is wearing a large white peasant shirt with flamboyant, colorful yoga pants and a matching scarf. She always wears a scarf around her neck because she sees it as an essential necessity to give any outfit a little flair. Both Sadie and the center show wear and tear since she became a widow 3 years ago, and they suffered the loss of Mr. Brown. Placing tulips on the gravestone where her husband is laid to rest, on the same acreage where the center is located, looking at the tombstones. I know you're here with me, Tommy, but I feel like with each new problem at the center, I'm letting you down. You put your heart and soul into this place. Pausing as if she's listening for a reply and looks up and notices storm clouds rolling in. I know you understand, but I needed to get this off my chest and I know I ask you often, but can you please send help from heaven to bring more customers to cover the cost of the much needed repairs? Pausing again to listen. Okay, my darling. Thank you for listening. I'd better get inside and make sure everyone's safe. The storm is approaching fast. Approaching the center, she notices more paint coming off the colonial-style columns at the front of the center, and another shutter is about to fall off its hinges. Next, we find ourselves in front of a two-bedroom apartment in downtown Salem, Massachusetts. The interior of a living room with a card table and a television. Nora, in her early to mid-30s, wearing a Bob Marley t-shirt and pajama pants with peace signs, seated in her wheelchair, comforting Harmony, a bombshell early to mid-30s blonde who sits beside her on the floor, surrounded in tissues, wearing her strawberry shortcake pajama bottoms and matching pink tank top. Softly in front of them is the television playing. It's okay to cry. It's good to cry. Release, get it all out, Nora says. I know Brian and I broke up, but I just can't believe he left. He knows we couldn't afford the rent without him. After 3 years in a relationship, he leaves us with the television and a card table? How can he be so heartless? I just don't understand. Everything's gonna be alright. We'll figure things out. You always say less is more. We can live like minimalists and gain a stronger spiritual connections and hearts of gratitude. I know, but the rent is due in 48 hours and we're $500 short. I just don't understand all of this. Nora and Harmony looking at the television as a commercial with Sadie advertising the center comes on screen. Sadie, voiceover. Do you feel lost? The two girls nod in unison. Are you trying to figure out the bigger picture? Are you looking for answers and a new beginning? They continue to nod. Then come here, the Inner Circle Spiritual Center and Spa. We have to go there. It's a sign, declares Nora. I know, it has to be, says Harmony, grabbing her cell phone to put the address and phone number in of the center. Nora uses her laptop to search for bus tickets. I think between the two of us, we have just enough money to buy the tickets. Harmony, still covered in tissues and in between sobs, says, let's do this, blowing her nose and quickly leaving the room, only to come back 20 minutes later with a suitcase in each hand. So long, Salem, to a new chapter, says Nora, hugging each other. Next, we find ourselves moments later on a busy sidewalk in Manhattan. Fade in on Jackie, with long chocolate brown hair, early to mid-30s, wearing a three-piece designer suit and Italian stiletto heels. Briskly walking down the sidewalk, talking on her cell phone. What do you mean you have a new manager? I've been your manager for 10 years, and you're a household name now. I'm supposed to get 30 days notice, both verbal and written, if you choose to go with someone else. Well, I didn't get an email. This is unbelievable. I've got another call coming in. I'll call you back. Quickly dialing another number. What's going on? This is the seventh client I've lost in a week. I've been with this talent agency for 10 years, and now a little schmuck who's been working for you for 6 months is taking all my clients? Well, this is completely unacceptable. You can expect to hear from my lawyer. Hanging up and dialing another number, that of her longtime friend and entertainment lawyer, David, knowing he will be on her side. She no longer can contain her tears of frustration. Tearfully, David, you're not going to believe this. I lost another freaking client. Just a second, doll. I'm in the middle of a meeting. Let me step into my office. Moments later, in his office, an interior, high-rise Manhattan law office with an oversized lazy chair and a top-of-the-line guitar placed carefully in the center of the room by the tall windows overlooking Manhattan. David pours himself a scotch on the rocks, quickly grabs his beloved guitar Louise, puts Jackie on speaker, and sits in the oversized lazy chair with the guitar in one hand and taking a sip of his drink with the other hand before speaking. Okay, Jackie, listen to me. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself seated in my office. You need to breathe and relax. You can't think clearly in such an emotional state. Picking up Louise, he begins to serenade Jackie, belting out, Nirvana, Nirvana, that's what we wanna achieve. Nirvana, Nirvana, the place of bliss. You sexy, sexy little miss. Nirvana, Nirvana. Thank you, David, thank you, says Jackie, rolling her eyes. I've got to go. Rob is on the other line. David, not even realizing that Jackie's hung up. Nirvana, Nirvana, please give us a kiss. Downtown Salem, Massachusetts bus station, we once again find Nora and Harmony. Nora in her wheelchair beside Harmony as they wait for a bus. Nora is disgusted that all the buses are not wheelchair accessible. This is unbelievable. This is an outrage. Calm down, Nora, says Harmony. We will just wait until the bus that is wheelchair accessible is available. This is ridiculous. We don't even know if that bus that's wheelchair accessible is running today, and we need to get where we're going. Harmony looks up and notices two burly men who have obviously been working outside for a long time in overalls and work boots, covered in mud, whispering, Nora, Nora, those two can get you on the bus. The bus driver said we can fold your wheelchair and put it underneath, so it's just a matter of getting you on. We can do it. I'm sure of it. No, no, no. They don't have nice auras or nice energy. No. They could have killed someone and buried the evidence. It would take forever to cleanse myself of that negativity. Nora, be reasonable. We have enough sage in my bag to have a bonfire for the next 3 months. Besides, They're carrying you onto a bus. It's not a wedding ceremony. Easy for you to say. You don't see the holes in their aura like I do. There's so much negativity everywhere. And you know how my immune system is with germs and how easily I can get sick. They're a breeding ground for germs. Their fingers haven't been, their fingernails have not been white for over 30 years. I've never seen so much dirt under one person's fingernails. Please, Nora, you said yourself we need to get where we're going, and I will wipe you down with antibacterial sanitizer. Fine. Quickly unbuttoning her shirt, Harmony reveals more cleavage and turns her rear in the men's direction, then whispers, Nora, drop something. Nora grabs a crystal out of her pocket and drops it strategically on the ground so that Harmony will have to turn around to pick it up, giving a perfect view of her cleavage to the men. Nora, I found it, speaking loudly and purposely raising up very slowly, providing the two men with a perfect view of her cleavage. Once she is completely upright, she begins speaking to the men. Hello there. Well, hello. You need a hand with something? Says Muscle Man number 1. We most certainly do, putting her arm around Nora. My beautiful friend here needs to get on the next bus, and the steps pose a terrible dilemma. She eats like a bird, so lifting her up onto the bus would be nothing for either one of you, right, boys? Muscle Man number 2 says with a sly smile. Sure thing, little lady, approaching an apprehensive Nora sitting in her wheelchair, as Muscle Man number 2 is definitely the dirtier of the pair. Gently picks up Nora. Nora gritting her teeth. Thank you very much. Muscle Man number 2 says, don't mention it. It's not often I get to be a knight in shining armor. Hitting the other man on the shoulder as he chuckles. Yeah, it must be nice to be a good guy for once, says his friend. Harmony, overhearing this, stands on her tippy toes behind the man and to make eye contact with Nora, overemphasizing as she silently mouths the words, I'm so sorry. Nora, safely seated on the bus with her hands open, anxiously awaiting the sanitizer. Harmony getting not one but 2 bottles of sanitizer out of her oversized duffel bag, waiting until the men's backs were turned, then frantically helps Nora pour sanitizer all over her hands and arms, up past her elbow. Muscle Man number 1 and 2 turn around and wink at the girls. Harmony winks back, flashing a big smile. Nora sweetly blows kisses in the men's direction. The men turn around and quietly continue making jokes between themselves as they jump off the bus. Nora and Harmony return to using sanitizer to cleanse Nora. We find ourselves back in Manhattan in front of Jackie and Rob's brownstone apartment. The exterior of the apartment. Jackie walking up the steps of her to her front door, looking up at the sky. Why is this happening? Is this some kind of karmic punishment? Opening the door, she is greeted by her husband, Rob, who has a glass of Chardonnay in his hand for her. Stepping into the apartment, her stiletto heel gets caught and breaks. Watching her shoe break in slow motion, Rob knows this will be the last straw. Rob, a muscle man several years older than Jackie, with multiple tattoos, opens his arms to embrace her. Jackie begins to sob. In between his wife's sobs, Rob coaxed her. Just breathe, honey. Everything's going to be all right. Did you talk to David? That's what he said. What's with this breathing crap? If I weren't breathing, none of this would matter. No, I haven't spoken to David, but breathing is essential, Jackie, kissing his wife's cheek. I'm losing all my clients. I've worked my ass off for that talent show for years, and they don't even appreciate me. The last 10 years, I've dedicated myself to building the agency. Blowing her nose before continuing. So it could be a major competitor in the city. I've been late to dinner with you. I've almost missed anniversaries because of deadlines. I've eaten standing up 80% of the time, and my cell phone is attached to me like a third limb. If you weren't as amazing as you are, there's no way I'd still be married. Rob with a big grin on his face. I am amazing, but you're pretty damn incredible yourself. Not many women could keep up with the crazy tour schedule I have with the band and be so supportive of my late night jam sessions when they have to be up for an 8 o'clock board meeting the next day. I think you need a vacation. There's this wonderful spiritual spa that my mother always retreats to when she needs a getaway. It's in Kennebunkport, Maine. The hotel, it's called the Colony Hotel. At least I think that's the hotel she loves. And then she goes to the spa during the day for all kinds of stress relief and whatever they do and that sort of thing. I think it's called the Circle of Life. No, Inner Circle Center. Yeah, that's it. Why don't you stay there for a week? I'll meet you in a few days when I finish the Boston portion of the tour with the band. That sounds amazing, says Jackie, taking her first real deep breath and passionately kissing Rob. We find ourselves back at the Inner Circle Center and Spa at the front desk. Sadie approaching Danny, who is standing behind the front desk. Hi, sweetie. How's everything in here? It looks pretty stormy outside. Danny, a flamboyant homosexual in his late 20s, clean-shaven, dark, spiky, messy chic hair, looks like a Calvin Klein model. Black t-shirt, designer jeans, leather belt, and really expensive, pointy European designer dress shoes. Leaning over to whisper in Sadie's ear, your favorite person, Mr. Patterson, the inspector for the city, is here to discuss the city violations, I'm sure. I've seated him in the lobby, away from the rest of the customers. Good luck, Sadie, touching her shoulder to offer support. Walking slowly over. Hello, Mr. Patterson. How may I help you? Mr. Patterson, a tall man, early 50s, balding, hat on his head, making him look like a 1930s news reporter. Oversized glasses, tweed suit, 2 sizes too big for him. I'm here to discuss the countless violations committed on your property, not only with the spa, but also with where you reside. And don't get me started on the Cosmic Cafe. As head of the city planning committee, I'm in full favor of shutting you down and shutting down the whole establishment. I've acquired 5 of the 850 signatures needed from the community to present our case to a jurisdiction judge at the courthouse. You will be notified of the public hearing. I'm well aware of the condition of my property. However, I need everything in writing, and according to the last report, I still have 2 weeks to get in compliance. My center is here to serve the community, and I promise you it will not be shut down. Good day, turning her back and walking away from him. Interior of the bus, we find Harmony and Nora. Harmony looks out the window and sees that they are passing a graveyard and quickly grabs her oversized duffel bag, digging through it until she pulls out a small spray bottle labeled sage spray, spraying it all over herself and Nora, who is sleeping against the window with her large DJ-sized headphones on, listening to her iPod that plays music as she sleeps. Nora waking up as she feels the mist of the sage spray on her face. She wipes her face with her hands. What's on my face? Oh, I'm sorry to wake you, Nora. I was spraying us with sage spray because we're passing a graveyard, and I didn't want any unwanted spirit hitchhikers with us. It's okay. By any chance, before she could finish, Harmony handing Nora a bag of pretzels. Hungry, right? Nora giggles. Yes, I still can't get used to you knowing what I'm thinking. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm an empath. I feel things. I felt that you were hungry. I'm an empath too, but what you just did takes it to a whole new level. But I can tell something is wrong. Are you thinking about Brian again? Yes, but that's not it. I'm worried. What if Sadie doesn't like us? Where are we going to stay? We only have enough money for one night at a hotel. I have to believe we saw that commercial for the center for a reason, says Nora. And you know how important it is to have faith and that we will be watched over from above. I know you're right. You are the best friend a girl could have. Love you too, mind reader. Grabs 2 pretzels and hands one to Harmony and raises her own pretzel as if to say a toast. To us and trust. To us and trust, says Harmony, then tapping her pretzel against Nora as if it were a glass to toast. They both laughed at the cheers. Well, I'm going to leave you with this general idea of where everyone is. So we have Miss Sadie Brown, who has the spiritual inner circle center and spa, having its own troubles with the city and permits and the community. We have Jackie, this very talented, high strung New York agent for a talent agency that's having difficulty with her career. And we have Nora and Harmony, who seem to be very spiritual, heading to the Inner Circle Spiritual Center, hopefully for refuge from being homeless. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to these wonderful people in the quaint little town of Kennebunkport, Maine. And until next time, love, light, and blessings.